Madam Speaker, I rise to warn of a dangerous bipartisan consensus that is walking us into war with Russia. In the days following Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, Senator Rob Portman said, "I haven't seen this kind of unity since 9/11. It's a nice statement, but what does it really mean? Unity always seems to come before the worst decisions we make. Our drive to unity often overruns our reason and discernment. The post-9/11 consensus gave us the Iraq War, the Patriot Act. The COVID lockdowns and mandates came from unity bundled by fear. Defund the police took off because dissent wasn't allowed. You were shouted down as a racist, just as now questioning our actions in Ukraine makes you a traitor. Do we have amnesia in this House? Is memory loss a consequence of the gerontocracy of Congress? Just a year ago, we lost a war against goat herders waving rifles. Now we're rushing to fight a nation that possesses 6,000 nuclear warheads? Representatives now recklessly assert that we are at war. Congressman Moulton said last week, quote, "We're not just at war to support the Ukrainians, we're fundamentally at war, although somewhat through a proxy, with Russia." Last night, this House approved $40 billion for Ukraine as American families go without baby formula. To put that in context, Biden's budget calls for $15.3 billion for Customs and Border Patrol. So apparently Ukraine is more than twice as important as our homeland. So you're a supporter of Putin if you think it's a bad idea to give the White House blanket permission to send, quote, "any weapon, weapon system, munition, aircraft, vessel, boat, or other implement of war to Ukraine, while surrendering our rights to repayment." We are sending so many weapons to Ukraine that we're depleting our own stockpiles. And we aren't just sending bullets and rifles. Now we're sending howitzers that can fire up to 15 miles. This means weapons we supply and train Ukrainians to use could potentially strike Russian territory. And many of these are ending up in the hands of the Azov Battalion. 40 House Democrats called them a neo-Nazi foreign terrorist organization just 3 years ago. Now that they're killing Russians, are these avowed ethno-nationalists apparently not so bad? Democrats go on a daily snipe hunt for white supremacy here in America, and yet they're fine giving rockets to actual white supremacists in Ukraine. I think so. But that's why we never have real debate on these issues. The swamp would rather talk about saving democracy than our actual dangerous reality. And if we are at war, like Congressman Moulton says, then why not vote on an authorization to use military force? Or are we just going to operate in Ukraine like we have in Yemen and throughout the world? Forever undeclared wars. I suspect many in this body won't want a vote or a debate because regime change in Russia is their actual objective, not defending Ukraine. And to achieve this goal, they're willing to send billions to Kyiv that will line the pockets of corrupt officials just like we did in Afghanistan. We are sleepwalking into a war, and the American people are left in the dark.